हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू आवर चैनल रेशो अधिकारी ऑलवेज एजुकेशनल। आज हम बात करेंगे क्वेश्चंस बेस्ड ऑन कोरिलेशन कोएफिशिएंट टू ब्रश अप योर बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग अबाउट all possible concepts on correlation coefficient. Today I will only discuss some questions that has been already included in your book as illustrations. So these questions are very basic and these questions will help you to brush up your all possible concepts that can be asked in your upcoming exam. And I will discuss today all contents on semester 4 statistics. I will definitely inform you that one batch is already ongoing for us, that is paid batch, and price is so much affordable and that can be paid monthly or say half basis, means you can pay half of the total amounts at once and other amount you can pay after 2 to 3 months. So today's all discussion will definitely give you some basic concepts, but all the advanced and detailed concepts and the classes regarding that you can find on the batches, on the classes that will be covered in the batches. Already we have covered 4 classes and already we have covered all the basic and advanced and the minute tips and tricks regarding correlation coefficient. Okay, so if you want to join the batch, then definitely go to description box. There you will find one WhatsApp number. You can WhatsApp on that number and I will discuss how much amount you have to pay and whatever. If you have any problem, in any financial problem regarding that, you can definitely you should be feel free to discuss with me also. Okay, so today I will discuss and so let's start today's concept. First question is in your screen, that is find the correlation coefficient from the following observation. What is the observation? Observation is basic, very understanding, that is x and y, two variable data is given, one x and another is y. You have to find the correlation coefficient. As you know that correlation coefficient is nothing but to find the linear association between bivariate data. That is very much known to you, and x and y is that two variables that completes the bivariate data and the data is given to you. Okay, so now you have to just find the solution, that how the two variables are dependent on each other. That is how the amount of the correlation coefficient that can be between -1 to 1. You know that -1 to 1 the correlation coefficient varies between -1 to 1. That can be equal also, means r can be -1, r can be +1 also, r can be 0 also, because when r equal to 0, you know that there is zero correlation, means there is no, means when r equal to 0 you find in any question or in any data, then you have to give the analysis about the data, the following data, that the data is not related with the linear association. That can be means the two variables can related in other type of association that I don't know, means that you don't know about the about just following the r equal to 0. But when you just follow that r equal to 0, you can definitely say that these two variables, this bivariate data, is not related with linear association. So all this relation and all these basic concepts you know, I think. So now just start the solution. Okay, now I will definitely erase all this and just try first of all to before going ahead, I will definitely insist you to try at yourself for 5 minutes at least. Now After that, if you have any problem, then go ahead. If you have solved the question, even after solving, you should check the solution also, because what happens sometimes, the solution becomes like a guideline for you, that will guide you that how the solution should be. Because sometimes what happens, you may be solved in another way, but the solution suggests some other things, because some things happen. What happened, the data you see here, y values is very high now. So sometimes what happens, in solution, in ideal solution, some origin shift or any type of base change or origin change can be performed to minimize the calculation. So all these things you should be aware of about the whole solution and the overall progression and prognosis of the solution. Means how much time is it taking from you to give that answer, ultimate answer. So whatever, just try to solve it. Okay, now I will give you the solution about the questions. First, check it. See, this is basically the handout of the book. So I will give you some like basic calculation, handwritten manual calculation or manual writing, so that you can basically understand how to solve it. So step 1, you should first notice uh, the data. So here you can see the data is very much like, here you can see very like 2.52, 2.49, 2.47. So the data is like a decimal, in decimals. Okay, the x is in decimals, but y is again in another dimension, means it's very big values. So what you should do, first of all, this x bar should be calculated by you, but you definitely keep in mind that this value should be taken up to 2 decimal. How? You can definitely calculate, means you can say the actual calculation is 2.821, so you have to take it as 2.82. Just I am giving an example. Okay, maybe the actual data is coming some other thing, but whatever, if it is coming like this, or if it is coming like 825, you have to take 2.82. If it is coming 2.826, then you can take it 2.83. Whatever, you just round off the data up to 2 decimal. Correct? I think you have understood. Now when the x bar is calculated, now you just go and jump on y bar also. Just again calculate the y bar. Why? Because this data is the measure of one of the measures of central tendency of this data of any variable. You know that in any univariate data you can calculate measure of central tendencies easily, because there are many measures of central tendency, and basic and very common measure of central tendency that you can calculate, that anyone can calculate, that is your average. So you have to calculate average at first. So when you have calculated average, then go to the variable that you just think. Here you just think about that there is, again, that I have discussed already, that the base change and the origin change has to be performed to minimize your calculation. So here it is already done. So x minus x bar into 100. So this 100, why is this 100? Because see here, this is up to 2 decimal. So if 2.42, just I am giving an example, 2.42, then if you just multiply it with 100, then what will happen? 242. Then this 242 and then 550 or 650, if you just relate with that, then you can easily relate. Because what happens when 2.42 and 550 and 610, then you can relate. But again you can do another thing. There it is already done, that you can divide this y, or this y minus y bar, this origin change, by you can divide by 10 also. What will happen? That will give you some 2-digit values. So here you can see some 2-digit values are given. So I am giving basic understanding or basic follow through that you should adopt. Okay, I am not giving the exact one-to-one calculation that you can do easily, correct? But if you proceed, if you follow the proper plan of this of solving this question, then you will not get some difficulties to solve other manipulations or other calculations. So that is very important. So if u and v is calculated, and that can be that can be done ready in a good figure, like 2 digit or 3 digit, at least two digit and minimum three maximum 3 digit. And if you prepare that, then you will get some minus value also, but that is beneficial for you. Why? Because that will give you the opportunity to minimize the sum also. You say, see here, this is the total, so I am just rubbing it totally. Now again I am going to the next step. First step, you have understood that you have to perform some origin and scale change. First step is to calculate the average. That is the first step. The second step, or you can take the second step of the first step, that is to calculate the base change and origin change effect. What will be the effect after changing the base and the origin? Then you can find the other figures that will give you some hint that maybe the calculation will be a little bit easy if we adopt this. So after adopting base change and origin change, the third step, or you can say the second step, would be to check the total, to minimize the total. And that will happen by default, because what happened, when you change the base and origin, then the minus sign will appear. Some data will give you minus sign, and some data will give you plus sign. So here that will be plus and that will be minus. So when you add all these, then maybe there will be possibility that the total or the sum will be minimized. Now here it is 0. That is the ideal situation. Sometimes that not happened, because what happened, that is the basic, means different iteration has been performed before giving the solution of this question, correct? So in exam, maybe you are not finding the best possible solution of the given question, but even if you try to minimize as it can be the total, then that will be helpful for you. Because what happened, when the total is minimized, then you can calculate this all this correlation coefficient very easily. Means up to your chance of minimizations, how much you can how can you minimize a total, that is depending upon the next time taken by the other remaining calculation. So when r is very less, when this summation is very less, then this r is not difficult to calculate, correct? So here it is 0, but even if you have calculated say 10 or 2, because what happens, this into 100 and by 10, you cannot remember this, na. This is not a thing to remember. This is not a thing to remember, but you can perform it according to your presence of mind. So according to your presence of mind, whatever you have performed, that is fine, there is no problem. After that, calculate u and v. Now I am giving the general criteria or general plan to calculate the r, because the general concept is same for all, but the calculation that you are facing, that is totally dependent upon the base change and the origin change that you have performed in the step 1, correct? So when you have performed step 1 and after that you have performed the step 2, that is totally dependent on each other. So you cannot predict this. Again I am telling you that you cannot predict this. You cannot predict this, okay? So as much as you can, you have to minimize the calculation. That is the main bottom line of this whole discussion. Now I am jumping on the next discussion, that is u square, v square and u and v. Multiplication of ub means the product of ub, that you have to calculate in the step 4. So the step 4 will be to calculate u square, v square and ub. Now see here, now if this is the 2-digit data, then you can calculate u square, v square. That will not be very difficult, na. When that is 2-digit, then that will be 3-digit or 4-digit, maybe 4-digit. So 3 digit and 4 digit data, even that is slightly difficult, but it's not difficult than to calculate the square of any 3 digit or 4 digit data. So that will be more difficult. So I am not going to that stage to calculate 4 digit data, or calculate the sum of 4 digit data. Okay, so for that reason I have already converted the u values in 2 digit, at least 3 digit, because some data will be in 3 digit. That is not very difficult, but that is not a issue. But the main thing is that to calculate the most of the data in second or the 2 digits, then you can calculate u square very easily. That will be 3 digit or 4 digit. That is very much understandable. After that, v square you can calculate. Similarly, you have to calculate the total. Now see here, total is very big. This is 5 digit. So if it would be 4 digit or 5 digit, then that would be all more than 5 digit, maybe 6 or 7 digit. So that will be very much difficult to calculate again. So I am just trying to calculate the minimum possible value of each and every value of the variable, correct? So now you calculate u square and v square. Now uv, now again uv means again the multiplication of 2 digit. Again you have to face the same issue. So if there is 2 digit and 3 digit, then you can find this is in maybe maximum 4 digit. Here you can see maximum 4 digit, 192 minus 1921 and 1342. Now you should not be panicked, because what happened, this is again there is some minus sign. So the sum will not be very much big, because some value will be subtracted. So after subtracting some values, you will find some decent values, decent number of digits in ub and u square and v square. Okay, so now when there is the matter of calculation of r, then you can find the summation uv divided by summation u square into summation v square. That is not very difficult. Again, I am not saying that it is very easy, but yeah, it is decent enough. You can calculate. So this minus and this all this. After that, you will find this. Now, how to calculate this in very easy way? So the bottom line is, you cannot say, or I cannot say that it is very easy to calculate. All this calculation is very easy. I cannot say this. This is a little bit difficult, little bit rigorous, but you have to perform this, correct? So after that you can find some data, but the main thing is that this data you have to check whether it is under -1, whether this digit is satisfying this or not. If this r, the value of the r is ultimately not satisfying this, because this is the property, you know that r should be greater than or equals to -1 and lesser than equals to 1. That should be satisfied, that must be satisfied after any type of calculation. So when you are calculating, adopting any other type of steps, that doesn't matter. Ultimately, if you get some value under -0.5, because that is the correct answer of this question. So if you now I am saying that if you find, say, for -0.5 or -0.592, but actual answer I am getting, that is -0.542. Now you will say, is it wrong? I will not say that it is wrong. Okay, because this is the estimation, you see, because this is the measurement. If the data or the digit that is in the fourth or third place, or for third or fourth decimal, and that is not matching with the correct answer, that is not a matter of panicking. Okay, so matter of panic, because sometimes what happens, the calculation you get, say here -33, maybe there is something you have calculated in rounding off. So maybe you have rounded off this -33 as -34. So the small deviation between these two values can ultimately deviate the actual value under third and fourth decimal. So that is not the matter of panic, but definitely you should at least maintain this -0.5. So if you have something -0.5 something, then definitely that is correct. Okay, so that is the whole discussion of the question 2. I am again saying that is a rigorous work. If this type of questions comes in the exam, then definitely it will take a little bit time, but definitely try to make your skills as you can find the best possible way to find u and v as minimum as possible. Correct. So that is the main way that you can find the solution of this question as early as possible. Now I am going to the next question, that is a question 3, and you can find is it as illustration 0.13, illustration 1.3, sorry. So now that is the question. So first of all, try yourself. So first of all, I will discuss this, that height is in inches, that is x, and y is the weight. So this x is height, so this x is height, and this y is inches, sorry, this y is in weights, means the y is the value that is giving the weight of the individuals. So now you will get some pair of data. See, 64, 57, 67, 73, 59, 62, 69, 68. Sometimes what happens, the question may does not contain like this type of tabular form. Say you have given like this, height and weight of individual is given as yes, is given as, say, 64, 56, 57, 60, 60, 67, 73, like this. It can given like this also, it can be given like this also. Then you have to again in the step 1 you have to perform this tabular form, because then you can understand, because then you can get the actual say representation of the data, that is height in this first row, weight in the second row. Then you can find the actual representation to understand the data, understand the nature of the data at a glance. Okay, now the next step is to read the question, or to find the actual question of this whole discussion, that is determine the correlation coefficient between x and y. So you have to determine the correlation coefficient between x and y. Okay, if by a defect in weighing machine, now that is the different question, but this is the first question, the determining the correlation coefficient of x and y, that is the first question. The second question is, if by a defect in weighing machine weight are recorded by 2 kg more than the true value. Okay, now what happens, that is very practical scenario that is given to you in this question, that if you find that the weighing machine is not correct, it is weighing more than 2 kg, means 2 kg more than the actual weight. So then what will happen, what will you do, will you calculate the all steps from the first, or you will do some or you will apply some basic general knowledge or basic concepts to find the actual weight from the calculated value, from the previous calculated value. So what will do, then you have to find the actual solution. That is the main scenario, and that is very important. See, this type of practical scenario is very much common in day-to-day life. So the question is giving you the task to brush up your skill, or to determine your skill, what will you do if this type of scenario you find in your real life. Then that is the main motto of this question. Correct. So you have to solve it very carefully, and you have to solve like to utilizing your basic means presence of mind. So that is the basic important prerequisite of this question. Okay, so now I will give you the opportunity to solve yourself. At least give a try for 5 minutes at least, then proceed in the video. Now I will discuss the solution. See, solution starts from here actually, because here I have given you the basic first primary hint that can be possible, that is the for ease of computation we make a change of base for each variable and take u equal to capital X minus 64 and small v equal to capital Y minus 62. Now how you can determine this, how you can means how you can decide this, can you relate, how can you follow this 64, how can you follow or how can you decide that 62 will be the number that will be subtracted from each and every value, means actual origin, what should be the origin, how to decide that, that is the main question. First thing that should be that should come in your mind, so that I will discuss first, that is how you can decide the 64. See, capital X minus 64 is the actual value that will give you for X. Say for this you calculate X minus 64, what will give, what will give to you, given to you, that is your 0. Okay, what will you get, what will you get, you will get 0. Now for capital X and for 60, what you will get, minus 4. For 67, what you will get, minus 7, sorry, minus 3. And this is not minus 4, this is minus 4. And for 59, similarly minus 5. Can you follow, can you follow? Now what happens, this data, again the same thing, some data will give you non-negative values, like this data will give you positive values, isn't it? This data will give you, I think, 5, yeah. So some data will give you non-negative values like 5 and 0, and some data will give you minus or the negative values. So when you adding this whole data, when you adding this whole data, what you will get, you will get some value of the value of the sum that will give you the minimum possible value of the sum. Can you follow? That will give you some minimum possible of value of the sum, and that is the main matter of concern and main matter of considering the main parameter that will be decided, and that will decide the value of the correlation coefficient. So when you calculate the sum of these, that will decide the correlation coefficient value and the time taken of this calculation. So that is the main point of concern that you should understand. So if you take say 67, that is not a that would not be very much bad estimation, that will be a okay decent estimation, because what happened, for 67, 64 will give you negative 60, negative 67, 0, 59, negative 69 will give you some positive. So similar, you can take it as X minus 67 also, that would be not very incorrect. Similarly, Y minus 62, it is taken from at least from the middle, you can take it 60 also, Y minus 60, because 60 will give you, say, first of all that will be negative, then 0, then positive, then 62 minus 60 positive, 68 minus 60 again positive. But for this Y minus 60, that will give you 3 positive values, means your sum is increasing. So this is the main plan to decide the origin, that is 62, whether that will be 62 or 60, whether that will be for X that will be 64 or 67. That is the main plan, or that is the basic layout, how you can think about the decision about the origin. Okay, so now I will proceed for the next step, that after calculation you will find this u, v, u square, v square and ub, the similar calculation that you have checked in the first question. So for u, that is 0, minus 4, 3, minus 5 and 5, that I have already discussed here. See, 0, minus 4, minus 3, minus 5 and 5, I think not minus 5, yes, only 3, that will be 3, because for 64 that is 67, so that will be plus 3 na. So the same calculation is given here. Similarly v, because here u equal to what we have chosen, x minus 64. Okay, x minus 64, this one is the value. Now for y minus 62. For this question I have chosen this. So y minus 62 is the value for v. So from the, if we put the value of x one after another, you will get the values of u and v correspondingly if you use this. Okay, so after that, when you find this u and v, you will get some minimum possible of sum that would be possible to calculate the further calculation. So u square, similarly you have to square all this. So if you find the values in 2 digit, that would be good, sorry, 1 digit or maximum 1 digit and then 2 digit, then say that is the another advantage of changing the base and origin, that I have already discussed in the first question also, that if there is two variables through 2 digits, then here you can see the digits are mostly 1. The digits that those are involved in these values is mostly 1. So what happens, the calculation of u square will be easier. Okay, so calculation of u square and v square will be easier. So u square, then 25, the u square 0, 25, 16, 4, like this. You have to calculate 75 and 186. ui vi, similarly you can calculate. Okay, similarly you have to calculate the sum. Now how to calculate r after that? Very basic. This is the main formula that we have discussed in the theory classes. What is the formula? Rxy equal to ruv, because the numerical value will be same. Numerical value will be same, and numerical value will be same for all. Same for all means when you are changing base and origin, see here, u equal to what? X minus 62 divided by 1, isn't it? V is y minus, sorry, it is 64 and it is 62 divided by 1. So here c and d, this is c and this is d. So c and d of same sign. It doesn't matter about the values of c and d. Only matters what? The sign are same for c or d or not. The signs of c and d are same or not, that is the main thing. So here the signs are same because plus 1 and plus 1, so both are positive. So here actually rxy equal to rub, you can omit this numerical value writing also, because here actually rxy equal to rub from all aspects. You can take from positive with sign aspects or without sign aspects. Okay, so rxy equal to rub, and that is equal to, we have already discussed that is the main formula, n summation of ui vi minus summation ui summation vi divided by, this is n. Okay, n means number of pairs of values, number of pairs of values equal to n, and here in the denominator n summation ui square minus summation ui and whole square. Okay, into, similarly for v also, n summation vi square minus summation vi whole square. Okay, this is the formula. Now that formula is used here. So here n equal to 5, you can see here n equal to 5. I am erasing all this. So n equal to 5 because 1 2 3 4 5 pairs of values, 5 pairs of values. So here n equal to 5. Okay, so for n equal to 5, here you can see n equal to 5, so 5 5 5 and other terms are same, and you have already calculated all the terms. Summation ui vi, see here, summation, I am again erasing all this. Summation ui vi already you have calculated, that is your 71, correct? So just put it as 71. Summation ui and summation vi, those have been already calculated again. Summation ui minus 1, summation vi 10. So that is your summation ui and that is your summation vi. So summation ui is minus 1 and summation vi is 10. Just see here, summation ui is minus 1, summation vi is 10, divided by summation ui square and summation vi square. Summation ui square is 75. This is your summation ui square and this is your summation vi square. Okay, so summation ui square is 75, summation vi square is 186. So just put it here, 75 and 186, and summation ui already I have discussed, minus 1, and summation vi already I have discussed, that is also again plus 10, and whole square will be here because summation ui square whole square is the actual term that has been involved in plus in calculating the r. So when you put all this data and manipulate all this, you will get some, see here, root over of all this. Now see, if you have been given this, means this question, if the question has been given in this type of question has been given in your exam, what happened, you will stuck on this because most of the case, most probably you will not be able to, you will not be able to carry your calculator, means you will not be allowed to carry your calculator. So what happens, the root over of all these values are very much difficult to calculate if you calculate manually. So if you calculate manually, then it is not it is not very easy to calculate. So in exam, that will be given in your question. So 374 is given in your question, 830 also it is given in your question. Okay, suppose this is given in your questions, so then you can put the values. So it is so this is 19.34 and this is 28.81. So you can calculate it after that you can calculate very easily. Okay, so you can calculate, you can multiply this, and after that dividing two values is not very difficult, so you can calculate that also. So I am just erasing all this, and the হ্যাঁ বলো এক মিনিট। So after that you will find this is the actual value, that is your 0.655. Again I will tell you that if this is, say, for you, for your case it is coming like 0.686, it doesn't matter actually, because actually 0.68 or 0.61, I think I should take the example as like this. Say it is like not like this, 0.6, say 5 4, like this. Say you are getting this value 0.654 and actual value is 0.655. It doesn't matter actually. Okay, at least maintain up to 2 digit for this case, because here it is 0.65. So 5 is the number that decides whether there will be whether there will be rounding or rounded off or not, whether there will be round off or not. So say 0.654 and there is 0.655. For both the case actually it is 0.65. Okay, now if it is 0.656, then actually it will give you 0.66 after rounding off. So then it will give you another value. So if you have some, say, value that is in in the third decimal place, that is lesser than 5 or equal to 5, up to that there is no problem. Okay, so that is the main case that I should discuss about the values, because these values are also very much important to get the number or not. Means whatever what happens in the answer script, examiner, when examiner will check, he or she will be given one answer script. Okay, now on that answer script, some some value or some answer will be given. Now after that there will be some note, there will be some note about if there is some deviation of values that has been calculated by the student, that is not totally like rejected. Okay, sometimes what happens, this type of note given that if up to third place it is matching, or up to second place, or up to first place, first decimal or second decimal or third decimal, in different questions that is different, but if that is matching, then just give the full marks. Okay, so this type of instruction is given in the answer script that has been provided to the examiner. So that is the actual thing that I should discuss. So at least maintain up to 2 decimal, that is the bottom line of this whole discussion, that up to at least second decimal तक मेंटेन करना इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो मेंटेन अप टू सेकेंड डेसिमल. ओके, so if y dash be the correct weight when now this is the second step. So first step we already discussed, that is the value. If it is 6.54 for your case, that is not incorrect, that is okay, that is correct. Now that is the second question, or the second question solution. What is that? What was the question? See, the question was, this is the question: if by a defect in weighing machine, weights are recorded by 2 kg more than the true weight, then indicate the value of the correct correlation coefficient. Then how to do that? How to do that? See, this is very easy. This is very easy. 2 kg more. 2 kg more means whatever has been recorded here, 64, 60, 67, weights are recorded 2 kg more than the true weight. So actually weight is 62. Actually here weight is 58. Actually weight is here 65. Actually weight is here 57. Actually weight is here 67. 2 kg more has been recorded. So what happens actually? If you analyze it, or if you write it mathematically, then you have to write this was. So y dash is the correct weight and y is the recorded weight. See carefully, y is the recorded weight. Means I am writing it as y, capital Y. Means I am notating it as capital Y, and y dash, that is what I am notating the actual correct weight as y dash. Okay, so actual correct weight is y dash, and the recorded weight is y. Now what is the relation between these two? Y dash plus 2 equal to y, means y dash equal to y minus 2. So there is a origin change. So there is a origin change, means the base change. Same thing. Okay, base change or origin change, both are same. Both are same. So if there is any change of base, then there is no change in correlation coefficient. That we all know, that correlation coefficient is independent of change of base. That is the main point that you should consider from this whole discussion. The correlation coefficient is independent of change of base. Correlation coefficient doesn't change when there is change of base. So whatever you have calculated, the calculation is different for this case, but actual answer that you have got ultimately, that is 0.655, whether for some cases 0.654, that is same for this case also, because whatever the change has been happened in y or in weight, that is totally up to base change. So up to base change there is no problem. Okay, so that is the main thing that you should consider. So ultimately correlation coefficient will be same, that is 0.655. So whatever you, if you don't know this concept, then if the question is given in your exam, then you, after reading it, means at first when the question paper is given to you, at first what we do, we read it. So when we are reading it, then we will have some confusion, or we will have some panic moment, that what will happen, what would be the question actual correct approach to solve this question. Because but at in reality there is no difference between those two values. So if you know that the basic one line concept, that is correlation coefficient is independent of change of base or change of origin, then you will not have some panic moment regarding this in exam. So that is the main thing to discuss. Okay, so now I will discuss the other because already yes, okay, I will discuss this question also. So the next question is, a computer while calculating correlation coefficient between two variables x and y from 25 pairs of observation. So n here is 25, it is already written also. So obtained by the following result. So what is given? A computer while calculating correlation coefficient between two variables x and y, pairs of observation के लिए some observations are given. Means one computer is calculating the correlation coefficient of some data, some pair of observations. For that, some results or some observations has been given. Okay. Now it was, however, later discovered, after some time it has been discovered that at the time of checking, it has been discovered that it had copied down two pairs as 614 and 86, while the correct values was 8, 12 and 6, 8. Means there was some problem, there was some like what can I say, some incorrect result, or not incorrect result, incorrect recorded value. So there was some incorrect recorded values. Two pair was misinterpreted or misrecorded. One is 6, 14, another is 8, 6. Actually it should be as 8, 12 and 6, 8. Now you have to obtain the correct value of correlation coefficient. How to calculate? It is very means I am again saying it is not very difficult. It is very basic question. It is a question based on a very basic understanding. Okay, because this type of question we have solved in class 11, means for your case in class in semester 1 we have all done this type of question also, where the sum is given, some values were incorrect, you have to delete the incorrect values and you have to put the correct values onto that, and after that you have to calculate the measure of central tendency. This type of question was given in your semester 1 or measure of central tendency chapter. So this type of question is similar as this, that you have to correct the correlation coefficient because there was two pair of data that was miscollected or the misrecorded, that was actually that should be as 8.12, 6.8. Now what to do? Now see, first of all, this is very easy, that I is given to you, that you have to take. After that, see what is given to you. See what is given to you. You have given all the values of sum. All the values of sum is given to you. So there is no problem. Is there any problem? See, 6, 14 and 8, 6. 6, 14. 6, 1 minute. Yes. 6, what happens? 6, 14 and 8, 6. It is incorrect. So you have to delete it. Means mathematically speaking, you have to subtract it. Okay. Then the correct values would be 8, 12 and 6, 8. So 8, 12 and 6, 8. This is the correct value. So you have to add it. These are the correct values. So you have to add it. Mathematically speaking, again you have to add it. So in summation x, if you minus all this 6 plus 8, because see here, this is x, means 6 and 8 are the values of x. 6 and 8 are the values of x. So 6 and 8 should be subtracted. Okay. And 8 and 6 again. 8 and 6 you have to add. So there will be no change. There will be no change. The value will be 125 as it was given in the question. See, 125. So in summation x, there will be no change. Summation x square. So in summation x square, means summation x square, 650 was the actual, means recorded or the given value. That is here. This is 650. And here 650 and minus again same x square, means 6 square and 8 square you have to subtract. So minus 6 square plus 8 square, and you have to add 8 square plus 6 square. Will there be any change? Yes, there will be change, because there will be change because no, there will be no change. Sorry. There will be no change. Same 650. There will be no change because 6 square plus 8 square and 8 square plus 6 square both are same. So that will be cancelled. So that will be cancelled. That will be cancelled. So 125 and 650 will be repeated as it was. So after that, summation y. For summation y, the value was 100. The recorded value was 100. 100 minus 14 plus 6, because for y this is the y, 14 and 6, and for this case 12 and 8. So 12 and 8. See, 14 plus 6 is 20 and 12 plus 8 again 20. So these get cancelled again. These get cancelled again. Very beautiful question. Summation y square. Now there will be some change. Because 460 was the measured value or the recorded value, that is 460. So 460 minus, this is the incorrect value. So 14 square plus 6 square. Now 14 square plus 6 square is incorrect. So you have to subtract it from 460, and you have to add 12 square plus 8 square, because this is the correct value that you have to add. So 12 square plus 8 square you have to add. So here is plus. But see, 14 square plus 6 square is not equal to 12 square plus 8 square. So here it will not get cancelled. So 460 will be not repeated. So 460 will be 430. So that you can calculate. That is not very difficult. 14 square 6 square you can calculate, then subtract from 460. After that 12 square plus 8 square calculate, and after that just add it. So you will get 432. Okay. Similarly, summation xy, I am not repeating, the same step you have to do, but here you can see one thing you have to repeat. Sorry, one thing I have to repeat, that is 6.6 into 14, because See here it is what? XY. So X is this. For 614 this is the XY, and 86 this is the XY. Now it will be changed as 8 into 12 and 6 into 8. Okay. So like this you have to calculate summation XY. This can be done wrongly. So you have to check this very carefully. Okay. So after that you will get I am erasing all this, 520. So 125, 60, 100, 432 and 520. These are the correct values of summations. These are the correct values of summations. Okay. Now just you write correct RXY and put the values as it is from this formula as it is. But here n will be 25, n will be 25, and here n will be 25. Other these values, just take these values, correct summation x square, summation y square, summation xy, and put here and calculate. You will get 0.667. This is the correct option. If you get 0.66 at least 5, then I think you will get the full marks, because here actually what is the main motto of the of giving the question, that is to check whether you know this trick or not, or whether you know this concept or not to check this calculation. Okay, this question is not given to check your calculation, but to check your concept regarding this type of scenario. So you have to you have to calculate at your level best and at least come to 0.665. I think you will get the full marks. Okay, there will be no problem. So like this you have to calculate and practice the questions regarding correlation coefficient. This question is public to give you some insight or some indication that how or at which level we are going, and at which deep or at which depth we are going to study all the concepts and to practice all the regarding questions. I am saying you that these questions already included in your book, but I give more questions regarding all this from other books also, because other authors, I think you don't know about the authors' names, but I know some of the authors, and I find the questions from internet and give our students to practice more about the different concepts that already has been discussed in our classes. So like this we are proceeding, and if you really interested after watching this video and after watching this lecture, with rather to join our statistics online paid classes, then definitely go to our description box, check the WhatsApp number, WhatsApp me and discuss about your about our classes details and the fees that has been allotted for it. Okay, so just I am stopping here, and I will definitely try to make other free videos also in you that will be publicly available in YouTube, so that you can watch and you can take help from that also. So I will try that, but up to that, definitely I will say goodbye, and definitely after Diwali I should say that happy Diwali, belated happy Diwali. मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में. So one thing I should say that please search this spelling RESWAV ADHIKARY and will get this this YouTube channel, and definitely subscribe here. Okay, this is already subscribed, and make it as all, so that you can get the all notification regarding our upcoming videos. Okay, and after saying this I should say तो definitely check out description for more notes and other important informations regarding videos and important messages that I will definitely give in description and the pin comment if possible. So definitely check out all the description and pin comment to get more details about our upcoming बैचेस. ओके, मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो के अंदर.